TV. I'm with Steve Goodwin of Goodwin Promotions. We're at the David HAYE press conference. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm well. Okay.
Good. Not too bad. Can we firstly talk about today? Obviously, the press conference for David's fight in May. What interest do you have in the show?
We're working in association with David on the show, and specifically working on the undercard, working with some of our Goodwin boxing fighters on the undercard, and some other exciting talents that David wanted on the undercard. So we're working together with him to hopefully deliver a really good undercard for the O2 for what's going to be a great night.
Okay, so what fighters in question that you have are on the undercard?
Well, the chief support, we've got Joe Malander, which is one of the fighters that I manage, and he takes on Lee Markham for the English middleweight title. And as I say, and I predict, and I'll stand by, this will be one of the fights of the year. It will be a fight that people talk about for years to come. It will be one of those British all-time classics, because you've got styles make fights, and you've got two fighters that will come together in the middle of the ring, and they will fight until one gives up. It will be that side of fight, and they both. There's a lot of history between them because they both were amateurs at 5-star ABC. So they came from the same amateur gym, and they've been on a collision course for the last 10 years. And it's all going to happen at the O2 for the English middleweight title, and it is going to be a fight that everybody will want to watch. So that's top of it. So, and underneath that, you've got the Sheikh from Qatar, who is the first professional boxer out of Qatar, and he's part of the royal family in Qatar. He's a friend of David's, and he's making his professional debut over 4 rounds. Joe Fournier, the American, who's 3-0 with 3 KOs, he's on the show. Nick Webb, the heavyweight from Brighton, he's Scott Welsh's. He's 5-0 with 5 first-round knockouts. And from the Goodwin stable, we have Kay Prosper, who is one of the most sensational super lightweights in the country. Nobody wants to fight him. And I'm talking about the top ones down, the TV fighters. Everybody's trying to avoid him, and we will knock on the doors and break them down until he gets the big title fight. He's 8-0, 5 KOs, 4 in the first round. He's was on the last HAYE show with a first round knockout. He's back again, and he's an absolutely fantastic fighter, and I think he's going to the British title and beyond. So he's one to watch out for. We've got Floyd Moore, Southern Area lightweight champion. He's had 13 wins. He's had a few losses, but 9 of those 13 wins have come by KO. He's won the Southern Area, defended it. He's a 2-time Southern Area champion now, and he brings a legion of fans from Portsmouth, so he's very exciting. And a really up-and-coming light heavyweight called Ollie Patterson, who's travelled all around the world boxing, including in America. He's 3-0, and he's on the undercard as well. It's a really good undercard, and the Malander Markham fight is just something that hopefully many people that are there, even to watch HAYE, will come and watch that fight plus some of the undercard, because it's going to be a great night.
I couldn't say any more. You put it all in one sentence there. Okay, so obviously your next show, when's that going to be?
Well, the next Goodwin show is promoted by Olivia. That's on the 7th of May, and that features another one of my boxers, Johnny Garton, who gets his English title opportunity. He fights Ryan Fields, who people that watch Sky Sports will. He knocked out his opponent to win his area title, Carl Wiggins, in his last fight, and now he comes to London to face Johnny Garton. I took over Johnny 18 months ago. He hadn't had any title opportunities. He's since with me. He's won the Southern Area, defended it, won an English final eliminator. Now he gets his big chance at the English, and if he comes through this, we'll be aiming for the British. And Johnny's one of the nicest guys you'll meet, and I'm delighted to be able to help him in the last 18 months. And he's got his big defining night on that show.
You've been promoting for about roughly, what is it, 6-7 years?
6 years.
6 years. And in the time span that you've started to right now, would you suggest, obviously, how many terrestrial TV dates have you had? You haven't had?
No, we had one Eurosport.
One Eurosport.
And 2 prime time.
2 prime time. Okay.
But terrestrial TV, I can speak about this for hours. Terrestrial TV is relevant if you are getting a big platform where you can get sponsors. Yeah. If you get a small terrestrial TV channel, I'm not going to go into names or channels, but they give you no money, and the fighters still have to sell tickets, and the fighters lose money out because they can't sell tickets, and sponsors aren't interested because the viewing figures aren't good enough. The only reason people do that is for promoters' ego. I haven't got an ego, so for me, we need to be able to get terrestrial TV that will financially benefit the boxers. If it doesn't financially benefit the boxers, and it's just about my ego, I don't want to know. It's all about the boxers for me. So we are aiming for terrestrial TV at some point, but it's got to be the right deal at the right time for the boxers.
Okay. Would you consider doing a co-promotion with another promoter?
Well, we're helping with David HAYE.
David HAYE.
With David HAYE we're doing with. There are, Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren would not want to cut. There's no need for them to co-promote with anybody. Eddie Hearn is the king. He's got the Sky date, so that's not relevant. Frank Warren doesn't need to. Well, he doesn't need to co-promote with anybody. He's got Box Nation. But in answer, we don't feel, unless there is something that we think is mutually beneficial, then there is no need for us to co-promote with anybody. So from our point of view, we, apart from working with David, we are going it alone. We have set up, which is quite interesting, we have set up some franchises of Goodwin Boxing around the country where we're helping promoters set up in different parts of the country. Michael Ballingall's now took a franchise in Portsmouth. Jack Green is working on doing one in Devon. So we're working promoters that way in using a franchise of Goodwin Boxing rather than going the traditional co-promoting rule. Sometime I believe that too many promoters on a show just causes problems.
Conflicts of interest.
Conflicts of interest causes problems. You can't have too many chiefs, and we work as a team with us, and I think that it works fine. We don't need to work with other people apart from apart from when it suits. And for David, we're able to bring something for David. David gives our boxers great exposure, and it's mutually a beneficial arrangement. So it's great.
So what's your long-term plans? As obviously from now till this time next year, and then the year after. What's your overall goal as a promoter?
Well, we've got, as a promoter, there are two different goals. There's a promoter and a manager. I mean, I'm a manager of boxers as well, and I've got a lot of boxers knocking on my door to manage them. So as a manager, my goal is to fulfil every boxer's expectation, deliver everything that I promise, earn them the maximum amount of money, and put them in a position to win as many titles as they can for the most amount of money they can. As a promoter, we facilitate some of those fights, and as a promotional outfit, of course, we're aiming to build better quality fights, sell out arenas and venues, and also deliver value for money, which we do. But at the same time, build towards a terrestrial TV platform that a TV company will pay for. That's the aim.
You couldn't put it any simpler than that, really.
Simple. It's not hard.
No, it's not hard. But you have learned a lot. I mean, along the way, you have had a lot of heartache. Let's be honest about it. You've had a lot of disappointment.
Correct.
You've had a lot of times when you go to yourself, you know what? I don't actually want to do this anymore.
I did that when I started. I did that when I started. When I started off, 6 months after I started, I thought, what am I doing here? And it doesn't. Listen, there's a lot of. Like any industry, there's some very good people in the sport, but unfortunately, there are some who are not so good. And when you go into promoting or managing, unfortunately, you can get the ones that aren't so good come to you first, and you learn quickly who's good and who's bad. You have heartache in that there's not a lot of loyalty in the sport. We're very loyal to people. You just sometimes can get disappointed by lack of loyalty from certain people, and I've had a couple of those situations where I've been absolutely gobsmacked by people's behaviour, but you have to learn and expect that that's part of the game. But with heartache, there becomes success. There becomes times when you're very proud of what you've achieved. My children, Olivia and Josh, are involved in boxing alongside Kevin Campion, who works, and they're a great team, and we all work together. We all promote in our own rights. So there are a lot more proud moments and good moments than bad, but you just have to overcome the bad and work through them, and that's what I've learned.
Oh, you said it all. Knuckle-up TV, Steve Goodwin, we're out of here.